Hi everyone, happy whatever you see this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I don't know. Because the big storm is coming, so I wanted something nice and warm to eat. And I'm going to use my big loaf pan and I'm going to make a cake donut loaf. Old-fashioned donut cake loaf. So you know those old-fashioned donuts that like my dad and my husband like. I don't know why men like stuff so plain. I'm not plain. Anyways, I'll be making that, and I'm using a big loaf pan. So you might want to use a regular, but I just wanted to use this because the picture that I saw makes it really high in a regular loaf, so I wanted to try a large one. So what you're going to need is I already have 3 cups of regular all-purpose flour, 1 cup of sugar, and to that you're going to need 1 stick of softened butter. And she says to put all the dry ingredients in first, but I really should have creamed the sugar and the butter, but we'll see how this goes. It should be pretty easy. And then you're supposed to use half a cup of sour cream. Sorry, quarter of a cup. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, so I only have to use one cup. 2 eggs. Wash my hands. 1 1/4 cup of milk. And I wanted to show you guys this new milk I'm trying. It's A2. It's supposed to be easier on your stomach, and so far so good. I mean, I'm not really having problems, but my daughter thinks she might be lactose intolerant, but she hasn't tried it yet, so. But it kind of does seem easier to me. And I know I'm doing this way backwards than what I usually do, but 2½ teaspoons of baking powder. And 1½ teaspoons of nutmeg. And they can say you can use up to 3 teaspoons. And 1 teaspoon of salt. Alright, I'm gonna mix that all up and bring you back. I just love nutmeg and it tastes good. And now I know it gives that old-fashioned, that taste. But I'm going to show you guys before I pour it into the pan. It's a pretty thick mixture. Kind of like muffin mix, not really like cake mix batter. Alright, into 350-degree oven for about 50 minutes. So come along, we'll put it in, and then I'll bring you back to show it how it looks. And then we'll make a glaze for it. See you in an hour. It's not done yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and make the glaze. And just gonna need 1½ cups of powdered sugar, 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a dash of cinnamon, which is optional, and a pinch of salt, which is optional, but every good baker knows you put a little bit of salt in everything. So 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, and actually I'm going to reduce this icing to half because I just don't feel like we need that much to drizzle over it. So you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit. So 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar, a dash of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, which I'm going to call a little less than half a teaspoon, and it says 1 teaspoon of vanilla, so I'm going to do half. Well, I have to dump the rest out because I measured too much. I just reserve it in my cup. And 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk, so 1.5. And I'll whisk that up. And if you don't want lumps, you need to sift your powdered sugar, but I'm rustic, so you'll get a little bit of lumps. That's just more sugar to crunch on, right? So it's nice and smooth, and whenever the loaf comes out, I'll let that cool down for 5 to 10 minutes and then drizzle this over it. Can't wait. It's going off, and I already checked it at 50. It wasn't ready then, so I set it for 5 more, and it wasn't done after 5 more minutes. Then I reset it for 4 more minutes, so this should be done. And I'm very glad that I did use the large loaf pan, because this is the large pan and it's still coming up. So let me set this down and I'll bring you back when it's time to put the drizzle on. Okay, so they recommend you take the loaf out of the loaf pan and cool it and then drizzle the icing over, but I'm leaving it in the pan so we can just cut it out of there. But I'm going to drizzle this over. And they say you can also just use butter and cinnamon if you don't want to make the sugar drizzle. And like I said, by cutting it in half, this is more than enough of icing. And Mother, you should make this for Dad, because you know he likes old-fashioned, and maybe that can stop him from going to Dunkin'. Okay, I'm going to finish drizzling this, get it out a slice for myself, and let you know how good it is. Okay, here goes nothing. Sorry, I was rude. Here, take a bite. Especially the hard edges on the top and stuff, that really tastes like the donut. So I really like the crispy edges, and it's really good. It doesn't taste exactly like an old-fashioned, but the nutmeg makes it. And the, like I said, the crunchy little hard pieces on the edge, good. Yep, very good. If you do want it really sweet with the icing, then I recommend that you do take it out of the pan and make the full recipe of the drizzle and put it over. But is enough for us. We don't need that much sugar because, you know. All right, y'all. Have a very blessed and safe weekend. We're supposed to get 5 to 8 inches. It's supposed to be in single digits. 5 to 8 inches. Did I say that? And hopefully no ice. But I think we're going to have church canceled and everything. So I pray that nobody loses their power for long at all, if at all. So y'all take very good care. God bless and have a great weekend and be safe. Love you. Bye.